Hi, this is Brett from SRmoto, and I wanted to do a quick project bike update video for our CRF450L Supermoto conversion. It's been a while since I did an update on this bike, and we've done quite a bit of stuff to it over the summer, so I thought now would be a good time to kind of go over what we've done to it. I'll just mention real quick our online store where you can find all the parts we sell for the CRF450Ls is at soloracer.com. If you go there and navigate to the CRF450L parts section, you'll find all the parts that we carry for these bikes. I will put a link in the video description for the online store, as well as to the project bike page, so you can see a list of basically all the parts we've installed on the bike. So check the video description once you're done watching the video for that. Again, this is our 2019 Honda CRF450L. Started out as a dual sport bike, and we've converted it to a Supermoto. So I'll talk about some of the Supermoto specific parts real quick. I'm just going to kind of go around the bike and tell you what we've done. As far as wheels go, we are a Warp 9 dealer, so we sell the Warp 9 Supermoto wheels, which is what we're running on this bike. We've got a 17-inch by 3.5-inch rim in the front and a 17-inch by 4.25-inch in the rear. We've done the gold rims with the black hubs and silver spokes and nipples, but you can get them in a bunch of different color combinations, so check our website for all the different color combinations you can do. There's another video on the channel that kind of explains these in more detail and tells you what you need to do to convert it to a Supermoto. So check that video for kind of some more in-depth information on these. So that's the wheels. As far as tubes go, we're running Michelin inner tubes, front and rear. As far as tires go, we've got Dunlop Q3 Pluses. The front is a 120 70 by 17, and the rear is a 150 60 by 17, which fits the bike really well. On the Warp 9 wheels, let me go back here. I'll just mention real quick, on a previous video we were running the stock front rotor, but we've since switched over to Warp 9's oversized 320 millimeter two-piece floating rotor. So we do have that on the bike now. If you order that, they do include a caliper relocation bracket as well, so that you can relocate the caliper to fit the larger oversized rotor. A couple other Supermoto specific parts. Warp 9 Axial Sliders in the front. You can get those in black or red. And we sell them as a set, so you basically get the front and you get the rear axle block sliders, which is a combination slider with the axle block integrated into it. Again, you can get them in red or all black. And like I said, we do sell those as a front and rear set. As far as foot pegs go, we are running some Supermoto specific foot pegs. These are DRC motard foot pegs. And these are kind of nice because they don't stick out quite as far as the stock pegs. They're a little bit higher, and the whole idea there is to keep them away from the pavement when you get the bike leaned over. They also have the red plastic pucks on the bottom, which are replaceable. Those will not only protect the foot peg, but if you do contact the pavement, they're there to kind of slide instead of dig into the pavement. So that's the DRC motard foot pegs. As far as mirrors go, we got rid of the stock mirrors, and we're running our Supermoto street mirror package, which are these clamp-on mirrors. Run these on all of our Supermotos. They work really well. A lot of people, when they see these, they wonder if you can see out of them, and surprisingly, you can see out of them really well. They don't vibrate at all, which is important on a bike like this, which vibrates quite a bit. And then if you mount them out by the controls like we have, you can see really well. You can see behind you, to your sides, you can see basically right along your sides. You just have to kind of get used to looking down as opposed to up. but I use them on all of our Supermotos. So that's our Supermoto street mirror package. One other thing I'll mention, when you do switch over to the 17-inch front tire, that's going to really throw your speedometer and odometer off. So we do sell the 12 O'Clock Labs Speedometer Calibrator for this bike, which is actually two different parts that you need to make it work on this bike, and we've bundled them together. It's completely plug and play and installs up under the headlight shroud, real simple installation. And once you install it, you just have to go through this real simple calibration process, and it'll correct your speedometer and odometer. So that's a 12 O'Clock Labs Speedometer Calibrator. I think that's pretty much it for the Supermoto specific parts. So I'll kind of talk about the lighting next. We've left the stock turn signals on the bike. We've installed this 12 O'Clock Labs integrated taillight package, and there's a separate video on the channel for this, so I'm not going to go into detail, but it's basically a replacement taillight, and it gets rid of that big aluminum license plate bracket that hangs off the back of the bike. On this bike, we're not using the integrated turn signal feature since we've got the stock turn signal still on the bike, but this will work as not only a brake light, but also it'll flash turn signals within the brake light itself if you enable the integrated turn signal feature. So if, you know, and on our dual sport bike, we're actually using it that way. It also includes the license plate light on the bottom as well. And we also are running the 12 O'Clock Labs fixed rate turn signal flasher, which will keep your stock turn signals from hyper flashing. And that's about it on the lighting for this bike. We're still running the stock headlight and everything. As far as the seat goes, Seat Concepts comfort seat. On this bike we have the black low slip top, red low slip sides, and it's the standard foam height. We've got a separate video on the channel that goes in more depth or in more detail on these Seat Concepts comfort seats, so you might want to check that out. Makes it a lot more comfortable to ride, way more comfortable than that stock seat. I also already mentioned the foot pegs. We do have a Zeta Revolver shift lever installed, which is a folding tip shift lever, black with the red. It is somewhat adjustable. The tip rotates. You can see it, the bolt there, it rotates a little bit, so it's got like 5 different positions you can put it in, so it's somewhat adjustable. It's the Zeta Revolver shift lever. Handlebars and handguards. Running the stock Renthal 7/8 inch bars. On this bike we decided to play around a little bit, and we wanted to put risers on one of the bikes. So I know on a Supermoto you typically don't need risers, but we chose to do it on this bike just to kind of see how things work. So we're running our Zeta 30mm handlebar risers, which will raise the stock bars 30 millimeters. And we kind of did that to see how handguards would fit. And on this bike, we're running, instead of our Zeta Pro Armor handguards, which we have on the dual sport bike, we've got these Cycra Ultra Pro Bend CRM handguards. And I'm going to do a separate video on these, so check the channel for that. These work really well if you're raising the handlebars. They're center reach mount, and they clamp onto the handlebars over by the handlebar mounts, and they just work well when you've raised the handlebars. The way they fit with the cables and everything is really nice. And again, I'll do a separate video to kind of go more in depth on those, but I really like not only the look of them, and then the functionality is really nice too. So that's the Cycra Ultra Pro Bend CRM handguard package. Pro Taper pillow top grips is what we run on these, and we run on pretty much all of our bikes. G2 Tamer throttle tube gets rid of the plastic throttle tube. We do these on all the bikes. Nice aluminum throttle tube, has a removable end cap, which works well with the handguards. It's a Tamer throttle tube, so it gives you a little bit better throttle control in that first half of the throttle rotation. Like I said, we use them on all the bikes and usually do it whenever we switch out handlebars or add hand guards to the bikes. Already talked about the Supermoto street mirror package. Let's see. IMS 3-gallon gas tank in black. Just installed this on the bike recently. Gives you another gallon of fuel compared to that tiny stock 2-gallon tank. It's available in a natural color as well, which we have on the other bike. On the Supermoto, we did the black. Okay, some kind of cosmetic stuff. Well, this isn't really cosmetic, but we replaced the stock chain guide with this Zeta 3D chain guide, which is red and black. Kind of a real nice piece. We've got a different chain on the bike. It's a little tricky to find a chain that'll fit these bikes. Originally, we installed an EK chain that we run on a lot of our other dual sport bikes, and that, even though we went with the correct 520 size, it didn't fit the bike. It was rubbing up on the engine case behind the front sprocket. So some of those wider X-ring chains, you got to be a little careful on these bikes. They won't fit. So we're running this DID 520 ERVT racing chain in gold, and that fits fine. Rear sprocket comes with the Warp 9 Supermoto wheels. We're running a 46 tooth rear sprocket, stock front sprocket. Some cosmetic stuff. Well, I guess not really cosmetic, but this Zeta drive cover and case saver. Let's see, what else? A Cherubi's lower fork protectors. Decided to put those on the bike. Whenever you put the Supermoto wheels on, you've got to trim the fork protectors so the 17-inch tires will clear. So we bought these at Cherubi's and trimmed them down to fit the 17-inch tires. Let's see. Lightspeed carbon rear brake caliper guard and lower disc guard for the rear brake rotor, made out of carbon fiber. Let's see what else. Zeta brake clevis in red. Clutch cable guide in red. Now, as far as performance parts go, you'll notice we've got a Yoshimura RS4 full exhaust system on the bike, and a twin air filter, and then we've got a Vortex ECU. Can't see it obviously, but we've got the Vortex X10 ECU installed. Really wakes the bike up. I mean, it's amazing. It runs much better than stock, and just a very impressive setup. You know, can't go wrong with the Vortex and either the Yoshimura RS4 or the full FMF system. So that's what we're running performance-wise. We just did Galfer front and rear brake pads. We've got the sintered front pads and then the semi-metallic rears, and we're going to be doing Galfer front and rear stainless steel braided brake lines here shortly. That's next on the list. As far as a skid plate goes, we don't really need a skid plate so much on a Supermoto, but we decided to try out this Moose Racing skid plate just to see how it fits. Really nice skid plate. It also integrates a linkage guard in the rear to protect the shock linkage. It's made out of plastic, black plastic. So if you don't like the aluminum skid plates, this Moose Racing is a real nice one. Fits the bike really well. It's simple installation, and again, it's got that integrated linkage guard. So that's the Moose Racing skid plate. I think that's pretty much it. Again, check the video description. I'll put a link to this project bike so you can see all the parts kind of listed out, and then I'll link you over also to our online store where you can find all the parts that we carry for these. So that's about it. I'll give a next update. We've got a couple other things planned. We're going to do a Scott steering stabilizer, custom graphics, and a few other things to the bike. So kind of stay tuned for that. But for now, I think that's about it. Again, it's Brett from SRmoto and our 2019 Honda CRF450L Supermoto project bike. Thanks for watching.